Alongside Adam Lauridsen, I'm Ravi Kapur. After Game 4 of the NBA Finals, and the Los Angeles Lakers are one game away from winning their 17th title in franchise history, pulling away late in the fourth quarter behind a couple of great plays by Anthony Davis. And Adam, what do you think the difference was tonight? Because certainly the Heat stayed stride for stride with the Lakers all night long, but they just couldn't quite get over that final hump.
Whatever was wrong with Anthony Davis in game 3 clearly was not wrong tonight. He was plus 17 in the minutes he played, and he looked like that impact player in the fourth quarter. The Lakers defense also felt like it was on another level tonight, and some of the unsung heroes on their team, I think, really deserve full credit for this win. Caldwell Pope had a tremendous game. Rondo had some big defensive stops. Caruso had some moments. So they're getting contributions from people deeper in their bench, which really makes this Lakers team even harder to beat than they are when their two superstars are executing.
Well, Davis only had 15 points in Game 3 tonight, 22 points to go with 9 rebounds. And, of course, LeBron James, almost another triple-double with 28, 12 rebounds and 8 assists. It seems like the narrative, even though I think Davis hit the dagger tonight with about 40 seconds to play, and plus he made a great defensive play on Jimmy Butler, who was trying to drive to the hole and potentially extend the game. It seems like the narrative shifted and looks like LeBron may be the series MVP if they can close it out in Game 5.
We should never let facts get in the way of a narrative, I guess. But if you look at the fourth quarter, LeBron actually missed his last three-pointers that he took. 2 were short, 1 bounced long. It was Davis who was hitting the big dagger three-pointer, getting some of the big defensive stops. LeBron obviously is a world-class player on another level. But I think objectively, when you look at the things that have helped the Lakers win the 3 games that they've won, Anthony Davis's fingerprints are all over that. And if I'm an MVP voter, assuming the Lakers go on to win this series, that's what I'm looking at.
I totally agree with you, but I do think the narrative has shifted, at least. Maybe that's the Clutch Sports factor there, where they're trying to get LeBron another MVP. Let's talk about the Heat a little bit. I mean, Jimmy Butler, another great game. Not quite 40, but he did have almost another triple-double tonight with 22 and 10 boards and 9 assists. I mean, does Butler basically have to do 35-40 for the Heat to actually pull off another game in the series?
It looks like it, given the diminished roster that they have. And although Bam returned tonight and was effective, they're still not at full strength. People are criticizing Butler for being a bit passive, and I've seen some questioning of his shot selection in the fourth quarter. I think that's a bit unfair. The entire Laker defense is keyed in on stopping him. He's fighting against double teams the entire game. He's working to create as much as he can, but he's also being efficient in his shot selection. So it's a really tough balancing line when you're clearly your team's number one option, and the other team's defense knows that as well.
It was nice to see Bam out there. He had 15 points. Looked fairly healthy, and even Tyler Hero had a nice game with 21 points. But certainly the Heat needs a little bit more offensively, and I do agree with some of the commentary that Butler does seem a little passive, trying to get all the other folks involved when he's clearly the best player on the team, and he's going to have to initiate offense for them to get ahead.
The Heat run an offense that is a bit reminiscent of what the Warriors run in terms of the ball movement, looking for the high quality shot, not necessarily forcing it just because you have a number one scorer. So I think part of what we're seeing is them just playing within their offense. Their offense isn't designed for Butler to just ball dominate and force every single shot. He's trying to move it. He's trying to find the open man, and they have good shooters who can score. They've just been inconsistent this series, and missing Dragic has also prevented them, I think, from having their full offensive repertoire that they've had so far in the bubble.
Certainly, I really thought that he played pretty well defensively as well. I mean, Iguodala, who didn't really do much tonight offensively, had only, I think, the 1 3-point shot that he hit, but he really played LeBron very well in the first half. Is there something you can take away that give the Heat some hope in Game 5?
Yeah, I think the Heat have been forcing the adjustments. You look at how the Lakers started with their big men. They're not playing that way anymore. The Heat are getting away with playing a smaller defensive lineup. And they have various contributors offensively that are popping up time to time. They just need their stars to align to get a good defensive performance and consistent offense from all of those bit players. If they can do that in Game 5, they can extend the series. That's the mindset that they have to take into it. Just one game at a time, one quarter at a time, just stay close, try to extend, know that you're overmatched, but you can still get lucky. You're still one of the 2 best NBA teams on the face of the earth.
And well, the Lakers are up 3-1. We have seen in recent years, especially if you're a Warriors fan, you know all too well that 3-1 is not an insurmountable lead. It doesn't happen much. It only happened the one time in the finals, but it is possible. And the Heat certainly they have got a lot of talent on that team, a lot of heart. And I certainly would love the series to get extended beyond Friday night. But we'll see if the Heat can pull it off. Otherwise, the Lakers may be cruising to yet another title in the bubble, which will be historic in its own right. For Adam Lauridsen, I'm Ravi Kapur. We will see you after Game 5.